Hello,
Hello, everyone.
everyone.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge podcast with me, David,
And me, Glenda.
and we are psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
I'm in Australia,
And I'm in the UK.
and we're joining forces to discuss and talk about the world of psychics, mediumship, and all things spiritual. We might even throw some random life topics in there too.
So come with us now on our podcast journey. Let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. And in today's Spirit Lounge, for the first time, we have a listener question. So we're going to answer the listener question by giving our opinion and viewpoint on it as well. So, Glenda, over to you because you've got the question.
Okay, so I had a lady called Karen reach out and ask a random question. Why does a spirit person you don't know in life connect with you, and what does it mean? And if you are seeing a person who passed long ago, reflection, why is that happening? So she's asking, she's seeing reflections of the spirit person that she did know, but she's also having connections with people she doesn't know.
Okay, so let's split it into two then. So the first part of the question is, so why is she
She's
connected?
connecting with someone who she doesn't know.
Ah, okay. What's your opinion on that?
I don't usually connect with people I don't know unless I am actually doing a reading for someone, unless the sitter is coming later on that day,
Mm.
or I am going to do a demo, or I'm going to do something. I'm going to meet someone or a friend or something like that. That's when I'll make the connection. So sometimes spirit comes early for me and I have to
Yeah, same
set
as me.
that boundary. So they cross that boundary and they get a bit excited. So I have to say to them, okay, come back later.
Yeah,
But that took me a long time, at the beginning of my development to work that out. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm seeing dead people. I'm feeling dead people. What's going on? And it can be a very bit scary when you're starting off on your journey because all your senses are heightened, you're opening up, you're having this
yeah,
awakening, and you don't know what the freaking hell's happening.
yeah,
So what I would probably say to Karen here is she's obviously opening up with her development or her senses, or she's maybe dabbling in this sort of stuff. So it depends what you're dabbling in as well. If you're watching mediumship stuff and you're getting into this sort of work, maybe you'll start to open up.
mm,
Um, Create some boundaries with spirit, create boundaries with yourself. For me, I've never really connected to someone I don't know or I'm having a connection with. And then we were talking about famous people. Yes, we've both brought through famous people, but I was actually doing a reading for somebody that was having that did have that connection. So to me, I don't get randoms, but then my boundaries are so strong. Your boundaries are so strong. We don't walk around talking to spirit because we're living our earthly life, and spirit
yeah,
knows that.
yeah,
So I feel like if you're having this happen, you need to create some boundaries.
yeah. I agree. It can do to do with the discipline that you have, and I think when you first start developing, again, like you said, we're so excited and
Yeah.
we kind of always want to be open to find out what's going to happen next and who's going to come through. But I think you learn quite quickly that discipline is really important and that you say to your spirit team, whether you know your spirit team or not, right? Because that can sometimes come later. It's important to be in charge, be in control, and voice to your spirit team. These are my conditions. I do not want any random people stepping in, and I do not want to be disturbed when I'm living my earthly life. Just for
Mm.
example, right? And I set that boundary with my spirit team very early on. Is that if I'm out and about, if I'm with the other half and we're shopping or out having a good time doing this, that, the other, I do not want spirit contact. I do not want to have
Yeah.
spirit because they know that I'm not going to do anything with it. And
Mm.
so I always work with in my mind, I will do what holds value. And there's no point in spirit putting anything in my mind that I'm not going to act on because there's no value in it. I'm never going to walk up to a person in the supermarket and say, "Oh, by the way, there's someone who wants to talk to you." I'm never going to do that. So spirit don't give me it because they know
Mm.
for me it holds no value because I'm not going to act upon it. So no, don't give me something I'm not going to no act on.
Yeah.
So that's just how I see it. So I agree, is setting those boundaries. And to be honest, there's no reason why someone you're not connected to would connect with you because again there's
Yeah.
no value in that unless, as Glenda said, that you're planning on doing a reading that particular day with a person who has a connection who's dropped into your mind.
Mm.
So that could be, I mean, there could be other examples as well, other variables with it that we could talk all day about, but without making this episode like 2 hours long, there might be something in this is just what's dropped in my head. It might be, and again, it depends of what you believe in. And I don't want to sound
Yeah.
like I'm going off on a tangent here, but if there's well, no, I don't know, because I was going to say if there's a person who, or a spirit person who might need that spirit rescue, if you believe in spirit rescue, that is, that might be why. But then I think, well, why would they come to you randomly and not another? So there's so much to it that you can think about. But I think ultimately, pay attention to what Glenda said.
Yeah. But and you know what? You can also be at a particular place and you feel spirit energy. Okay. So you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
into, right, if you go to someone's house and you kind of feel like, oh my God, there's some spirit movement here, spirit energy, or you go to like, a very old place that has impressions, or people call it a haunted place or whatever. Because you're so sensitive, you're going to pick things up like that. But at your own home is a little bit, to me, kind of going, oh, I don't know about this. Maybe
mm,
you need to do a bit of a clearing at home, or have you just moved homes, or are you renting somewhere new, or has there been some movement? That's kind of another faculty that could come into it.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
But
Hope.
discipline,
Yeah, discipline.
discipline.
Absolutely. If you don't want, just tell them to go away. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Don't know who you are, don't need to connect to you. So, and it's not being rude to them, it's just saying, look, I don't know who you are, I don't need you, I don't want you connecting with me. Again, you're in charge, right? So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
send them back to spirit, and they'll find the right
That's it.
person eventually. And
Yep.
what's the other part of the question?
Um, she was seeing reflections of someone she knew in her window.
Well, you could term that as scrying because there's the ancient form of scrying where um, mystics, as I called it back then, would sit in front of a mirror um, and see the their deceased loved one's reflection in the mirror as a way of communication. So it
Mm.
could just be that that's what it is. And as you said before, I think that it could just be that her clairvoyance
Clairvoyance.
has really clicked, it really kicked in because she's physically seeing it. It happens to me sometimes. I might look at a wall and I might see an image on a wall, for example, and I've brought it into the reading that I'm doing for someone, and they've understood what it is. It's just your spirit team, your clairvoyance way of letting you know who's there, what's there, whatever it might be. So
Mm.
that could just be what it is. I remember doing it. This is a story when I was a child. I was less than 9. I was younger than 9 because we're in our first house, and I remember my little sister was in the room with me, and she's 7 years younger than me, and and we had the lights off in our parents' bedroom, and they had a mirror in the wardrobe, and we I don't why at the younger than 9 did I have the thought of doing this. I think I saw it in a film somewhere where we stared into the mirror, and I swear to God there was a person that appeared in the mirror, and my sister ran out of the room, and I only found out a couple of years ago that to this day my sister cannot look in the mirror in the dark.
Wow.
So that I've scarred her for long. Um,
Oh no.
yeah, but God knows where I knew how to do that young when I was younger than 9. I must have been 7 or 8 or something like that. But yeah, so it could just be it's what we call scrying, where you're seeing the image in a reflective object like a mirror or I guess a window or whatever it might be, whatever it might be. So that could just be what it is. That's just how
Yeah,
you saw that, how
I
you've seen that spirit person at that time.
That's it. I just feel like her senses are quite open and she just needs to learn how to work them, or,
Yeah,
her clairs are opening up. Like she says she gets songs in her head, like a radio. She hears her name being called out. Um, and person person who's passed, she says she can feel their energy, their emotions, his inner self, like I know him. He talks to my soul, not always in words. So I do feel like she's opening up, and it's up to her, I guess, if she wants to
develop
the
that, yeah, and get some
develop.
control of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, but again, trusting what you're getting, that you're not going insane is another thing. So trust is one
Mm,
of the hardest things through all of this work and through life. So
yeah, absolutely.
I hope that helps, Karen.
Yes, thank you, Karen, for the question. I hope we've given you some kind of insight there. And if anyone else out there has questions which you'd like us to address or answer on the podcast, please do let us know by commenting on our post or emailing Glenda as well, because she collates all the questions at Glenda-Marie1, the numeric 1, at hotmail.com, and Glenda will pick up the questions there.
Or just DM and I'll just write them down
Yeah.
and we'll have a chat.
That's
Yeah.
it. Either way, that's fine. But thank you very much for the question. Thank you very much for listening to this little mini episode, and we'll see you again in the next episode in the Spirit Lounge.
Thank you so much for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, and if there's a spiritual topic you'd like us to discuss, or if there's a spiritual question you'd like our input into, then please send those topics and questions to us at Glenda-Marie1 at hotmail.com, and we will get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you could like and share this podcast, as well as leaving us a comment or review about what you thought, then that would really help us out and we'd be very grateful.
We would indeed. But it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.